The great-granddaughter I never held. What a story. This all took place during COVID, when my husband had Alzheimer's and I was locked down with him. But we had a new baby coming. It was my oldest granddaughter, and the first baby we had in the family for a very, very long time. So COVID was bad, but it was so exciting. A new baby was coming. I'm going to read a lot of this story out of a magazine called Mom to Mom. Actually, Maddie and her husband, they've been on television. I think it was, I'm not sure if it was NBC or what, but they've been on there more than once. It's a very interesting story. I don't want to get any of this wrong, so I am going to read to you a couple more photos that are in the magazine of Maddie. Maddie's my granddaughter, the mama of the baby. There's more pictures in here. Okay. It says, how many times have you asked yourself, what are the odds of that? When Maddie met her now husband, Kingsley, the odds of them meeting seemed more and more infinite. The pair met on a dating app called Tinder. I had never heard of that one. Maddie was a Midwest girl from Northwest Indiana, whereas Kingsley was from across the pond in England and was only on the stateside temporarily on vacation. As they learned more about one another, they discovered that each had lost a parent. The parent that we're talking about with Maddie is my son, Rusty. This is his oldest girl. So she had lost her father to brain cancer at the age of 40. And Kingsley had lost his mother at a young age. I'm not sure how old she was, but she was young. And both of them had went out and got a tattoo as a tribute to their parents. And there was a graffiti artist. I don't know much about tattoos, but those of you who know tattoos will know who this is. He was an artist called Banksky's, Banksy'', if you want to look that up. And there was a piece that he did, an art to be tattooed on the arm, that was called "There Is Always Hope," and is more widely recognized as "Girl with Balloon." It depicts a black and white image of a girl reaching for a heart-shaped balloon. So remember that, because it's later on. Kingsley has the image tattooed on his arm. But Maddie has the title of the artwork tattooed on her arm. And the title is "There Is Always Hope." So she had the title of the tattoo, and he had the tattoo on his arm. This is all going to fall together. Well, this couple fell in love and they married. Maddie is just sweet and laid back. She's a hairstylist with a big following, and she does a lot of weddings. Kingsley, oh my goodness, he's a card. He's funny, he's entertaining, he's got that English accent. He's always interested in new words to him, the way we would say them. I think I said something about, I told my husband, I says, about firing up the grill. And he goes, what? What was that? Say that again? Every time I do an accent, it comes out Chinese. My sister and I both. But anyways, it was just entertaining things, just different words that we had here. And he loved Maddie. Maddie loved him. He's just a wonderful husband. So he designs websites for businesses. So now things are going good. And they bought a house that was across the street from Lake Michigan. And the first baby, they were pregnant for the first baby. And they found out that it was going to be a little girl. And we were all very enthused over this. And when they had their first child, they learned that she too would defy odds. In early 2020, during a routine 20-week anatomy scan, they were told that their child had a heart condition called hypoplastic left heart syndrome, or HLHS. And Maddie said, we were shocked, but at one point in time during our journey, someone pointed out our tattoos. The heart was our baby. It felt as though Kingsley's mom and my dad sent her to us. We were always supposed to be her parents. So that tattoo he had, and she had the title of the tattoo on her. He's in England, she's here in the States. They fall in love, they get married, they have this baby. And it was pointed out to them when they found out about the baby's heart. It was a little girl too, and holding this heart balloon. And there's more. It was this sense of purpose and positivity. She says that she carried with her the rest of her pregnancy. With each test run, they learned their child's condition was rarer and rarer, and the future was very unknown. Doctors gave them the choice to continue with the pregnancy or deliver full term and allow the baby to live out his or her natural life without medical intervention. What a choice for a young couple with their first baby. Hang in for the rest of this. Maddie says her biggest concern wasn't about the condition her child was diagnosed with, but about the quality of her life. And then she began scouring the internet. We all do that. Searching for any glimmer of hope. And then she found on HLHS Facebook a group that changed everything. She said, I immediately stopped searching. I knew we would move forward and not look back. That group helped prepare me for what we would be up against, she says. Maddie and her husband forged ahead anxiously, anticipating her scheduled C-section on September 8th, 2020. For weeks, Maddie didn't know whether or not Kingsley would be allowed in the delivery room due to the COVID protocols. The COVID, it wasn't bad enough what they were going through, but this COVID during all this was the worst part. A nurse they had befriended during her parental visits helped them navigate a special request to allow Kingsley to be there. It was She goes, I was mentally preparing myself that I may have to do this part alone. When we got the news that he was able to be in the delivery, I was inconsolable. I don't normally cry, but I sobbed. I realized there is no way I could have done that by myself, she says. The delivery room included a team of more than 25 doctors, nurses, and staff, and they were ready for the procedures their baby would need. This is her name, Sterling Nova Lynn. And she was born at 8:28 a.m. She weighed 6 pounds, and she was 18 inches long. During this C-section, Sterling swallowed meconium and was whisked away immediately to be intubated. Maddie explains, we didn't get to hold her right away. Kingsley was able to snap one quick picture. I saw her for the first time the next day. She was covered. In wires and tubes. I just started crying tears of joy. A nurse came over and asked me if I was all right, and I told her, I'm just so happy. She was shocked by my response. And she said she's had to pick parents up off the floor. I was the complete opposite. I just looked at Sterling and I knew I loved her no matter what. Whatever is all. It all vanished. I just loved her so much. Sterling was born at Advocate Christ in Oak Lawn, Illinois. She underwent her first surgery at 6 days old. And while her parents knew she had some additional complications aside from HLHS, it wasn't until she was born they could have a definite idea of what those things were. After a battery of tests, Sterling was also diagnosed with isomerism. It's ISOMERISM, which for her meant she had 2 right sides of her internal organs. Now, I believe what Maddie told me is that she had half a heart, too, besides 2 right sides of her organs. Hip dysplasia, so she had to wear, and I know you've seen that, where they have to wear like the cast on their legs with their legs apart, you know. A tethered spinal cord, hyperinsulinemia. It's hyperinsulinemia, impacting her sugar levels. And I know most of you have never heard this. Kabuki syndrome is named after a doctor, Kabuki, which is a multi-system disorder that can cause distinctive facial features to development and growth delays. Listen to this. The odds of this combination of diagnosis are 1 in 7 million. They were told she is a normal baby with a very unique body inside. We just felt so fortunate to know this information. Many families don't learn about these things until their child is sometimes 2 or 3 years old. Knowing so early on meant that we can have a better plan for Sterling as she grows. She does everything very slow and at her own pace, so we called it Slowly but Sterling, after her name, Sterling. They spent the next 5 months living at Ronald McDonald's house near the hospital. At 3 months old, they got the approval to allow Sterling's grandmother, and not me now, I'm the great-grandmother, to meet her for the first time. The grandma is Diane, and this is her first grandbaby, and she so desired to have a grandchild for so long. She was discharged on February the 2nd after a total of 6 surgeries, including multiple procedures to her heart and the placement of her G-tube. Maddie said, "We're settling in, running off the high of being home, but sleep deprivation is definitely new for us. It's like bringing home a newborn just months later." A typical day for Sterling starts at 6 a.m. with rounds of medication when she first wakes up, and again at 9 a.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. Her food bag is replaced every 4 hours. Her weight, heart rate, and oxygen saturation have to be measured daily. She is attached to an oxygen tank and a feeding tube. Therapists and nurses come to the home regularly. It's our normal. We don't know anything else. We were told not to have expectations for the first few years. It will be a rough couple of years, but we know it will get better. She says since birth, Sterling has developed a sassy, funny personality who lets you know what she needs or wants through her cough. She's known for her signature pigtails and fuzzy slippers. The family lives on the beach in Miller and has a simple wish for the future. It may seem mundane, but living on the beach, our dream is to one day be able to walk on the sand with Sterling. Well, I'm going to make this part 1 of this story. There's so much more, and you don't want to miss the ending of this. There's some sad parts and some very happy parts. So I'll be uploading this, and then be sure to look for part 2. Thank you for watching.